Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, your two artsy gals. Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey everybody, this is Katie.
And this is Sharon.
And you are listening to the Two Artsy Gals podcast. And if we sound really sad and devastated, it's because we just lost this episode. My computer crashed while we were recording it and we were almost done. So now we're starting the fuck over.
It's very sad. This one's going to be more sad than
It's going to be sad.
funny.
The last one was really funny, but we'll see if we can perk up.
Yeah. We're all mellow.
But we're talking today about nature crafts. And I was telling Sharon in the last episode that I have not done a lot of nature crafts in recent years because I did them more with my son when he was little and like school aged than I do now. They're not my mega jam, but I still enjoy them and love them. And I love bringing the inside or the outside in.
Me too. I'm sorry, Katie. I have to be moving because now I have to go get my plug-in.
Oh shit. Sharon's doing this crazy thing where she walks with her laptop and it makes me have the worst motion sickness ever. I have to like not even look.
I'm sorry.
At my monitor. Because if y'all don't know, we do this over Skype. But yeah, nature crafts, dude. Bring the fall inside because I fucking love all of the cool shit that is falling out of trees this time of the year.
Yeah, no doubt. I just picked a whole bunch of... Oh my god, I just got caught on something. I just picked a whole bunch of red, like awesome, brilliant red. And I'm pressing them right now between some books.
Oh, leaves, right?
Leaves. What did I say?
You didn't.
Oh.
You said, I just picked a bunch of awesome really red. And I was like, oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Red leaves. Red leaves is what I picked.
You're so funny.
From the Japanese maple.
Yeah, did your leaves change color later this year than they normally do?
You know what? I don't really know because we've only been here for a year and I've been so distracted with other things I haven't really paid attention.
I feel like in Portland they have it's later in the year than they normally
Yeah, well,
change
it's been
color.
a lot drier there too.
Yeah,
so.
It was hot for so long.
Yeah, so that doesn't surprise me. But one of the things I love to do with pressed leaves is just press them, and then, well, because they're already pressed, and then just put them on cards.
That's really awesome. That's a really simple, cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can do that.
What do you use to glue them on?
I'll either paint like Mod Podge or even just Elmer's glue. Just kind of paint it on there and stick it down. Sometimes you kind of have to use like toothpicks to kind of press the stuff down, but you know. And then the other fun thing is to, like, you can put it between contact paper. And
in the last episode, I was telling Sharon that I use not only the clear contact paper, but when my son was in preschool, and we did this in grade school, when I was in grade school, you arrange the leaves on a piece of wax paper and then put another piece of wax paper over the top and you iron it. You put you have to put a towel over the wax paper, and then you iron it, and it melts the wax paper together and traps the leaves like stained glass. It's the same concept as the contact paper, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of fun to do it with the wax paper, and you can like put shredded crayon in there too to add some more color, and it's really cool.
Yeah, that sounds really neat. I'm going to try that for sure. Oh, and then some other things that you could do is I've even like glued them, like decoupage dried leaves onto hurricane glasses, and then you put like a candle down inside of it. And that's really pretty.
How permanent is that? Does that, like, I mean, obviously you can't get this stuff wet if you've got it wet, then the Mod Podge would loosen, right? Or
Yeah, I just use a hurricane. I don't know. I made some for my in-laws, and they've had them for years.
awesome. Because my mom used to have us do that when we were little, like with those clear glass containers with the snappy lids. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
With, like the glass lid with the little hinged snapper guy and the gasket. And we did that with leaves once. We decoupage leaves on the outside, and we like done it with tissue paper and stuff too. And a combination of, but you use those for like, I don't know, to keep your coffee on your counter or your sugar or flour in or whatever, or a candy jar. It turns out really neat. That's a really cool way to use leaves too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, what else do I do with leaves? I don't know. Sometimes, my mom just presses them and uses them as her centerpieces. Like, she'll put them down the center, and then she'll put, like, a whole bunch of branches and dried leaves, and then, I guess, just more branches and feathers, and
gourds
put, like, a candle.
Whatever.
Yeah, and then put, like, a candle in the center, so she always makes really nice centerpieces.
And that's one thing that people should remember, and I think that we probably mentioned it more than a few times so far in the podcast, is cut some branches. Like when you go out and trim your tree back every year, like, because we have a little vine maple in the front yard that's out of control and we can't see the mailbox. So every year you have to cut a little bit off the bottom. Don't just throw that stuff in the compost or chip it. Like, you can spray paint branches and put them in a vase.
Yeah.
Or you can use them like your mom does as a centerpiece. Like, they're so pretty. You can even hang them on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're beautiful. I have some when I got married, I just went out in the yard and cut branches and spray painted them silver and stuck them in like a foam frog in a vase and used that as a money tree and decoration instead of going to buy them.
Right.
Which is silly to go buy spray painted branches at a craft store when you have branches in your yard and probably surplus spray paint hanging around. Like,
totally. I had a friend, she put a branch on her wall, like, so it came out, and that's what she hung all of her jewelry on.
That's really awesome.
It looked so cool.
Yeah.
It was rad.
Super rad. And like branches, and we talked a lot about pine cones before we lost this episode. Let's talk some more about pine cones, because other than being a wrist rocket ammunition, which is a slingshot, Sharon did not know this, but that's what I used them for when I was a kid. They do have other really cool crafty purposes.
They do. I never shot any because I wasn't allowed to have a slingshot, although my son has a slingshot. Well, I just don't think that they were like something that were on my parents' radar. We have to shoot predators here, so we have slingshots. Anyways.
That's why I am not a very good aim with a slingshot, so.
Oh, we practice. They're really fun I used to just make little faces, put like googly eyes on them, or draw little eyes and make a little beak and make them to owls.
I've done that.
Owls. And then my other thing that I like to do is to just put glue on them and put glitter on them.
Because glitter's
right.
the best thing ever. And it should go
glitter.
Everything needs glitter.
Yeah. And then just put a string on it and you can make it into an ornament.
I was just thought you were going to say, and you could wear it as a necklace. And it made sense in my head. Because it has glitter on it.
Because it has glitter on it. A hairpiece? I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, that would never come out of my hair. Can you imagine my fucking stupid big curls? They would go, nom, 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 eating pine cone. I would never get it out.
It'd be awesome because it'd have glitter on it, so it wouldn't even matter.
It would be okay, because glitter makes everything better.
That's right.
For real.
And then you were mentioning the bird feeders.
Yeah, you just tie string on it, roll it in peanut butter, spread peanut butter on it, and then roll it in birdseed and hang it outside the window.
Yeah.
I used to make those all the time with my son because the house that we lived in when he was like preschool, early grade school age was on about 2 acres. And we had all kinds of birds in our yard. I even said we had a pileated woodpecker that used to come and steal the suet out of our...
And if people don't know what those are the woody woodpeckers.
Yeah, with the big red fan. And we had mourning doves and owls and every little tiny cute bird you could ever possibly think of. Like, there were so many birds there. We saw a greenback heron there, which are pretty elusive and rare to see. So
yeah, you don't see those.
We put those bird feeders everywhere. My son used to load his shirt with pine cones and come in and say, let's make some bird feeders. And we would spend afternoons doing that. So it's a really fun activity to keep kids busy. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a fun one.
And if you're a bird nerd like I am.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Awesome
I know,
me
too.
Obviously,
because I was like... Foliated woodpecker.
Yeah. And I like the little black-capped chickadees are my favorite the little songbirds that come in. They're like beep, beep, beep with their little black heads and they're so fucking cute. You just kind of hold on for 1 second. I'm just going to holler at Kurt. I'm upstairs. We're recording a podcast episode. My husband just got home. Sorry about that, y'all.
What was another thing that you were talking about with pine cones to do?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think that was
at any rate. Okay. And
although, you know what? I just remembered I did one time at, I think, 4-H camp. We pulled the little pieces off the pine cones.
Uh-huh.
And glued them down into, designs.
Oh, cool.
It was really freaking cool. It was kind of like those things you see with the seashells where people glue... little clamshells and stuff, and make it's almost a mosaic, but not.
Oh, yeah.
But you use them to make pictures, and we did that. That was really, really cool. But that was pretty labor intensive, but it was really neat. And it was a way to keep a room full of 10-year-olds busy on a rainy day in the middle of the woods. So,
right. You know, another fun thing is talking about gluing things down. We did this in 4-H with kids. Was doing bean mosaics or bean drawings. So what you do is just Sterling's was cool because he just took the glue and drew an alien, and then with the beans just put the beans down, all different colored beans and seeds, and it's super cool. And we just did it on cardboard, and that's one of my favorite pieces of artwork that he has.
And I think it's worth mentioning, since we're kind of talking about beans and seeds and pine cones and stuff. I don't know about other floats and other parades, but the Portland Rose Festival is a pretty big parade, and one of the rules for those floats are that they have to be made from all natural plants and stuff. And plants and seeds and flowers, any color. So if you really look at those parade floats, all of that is either parts of a flower or grains or seeds or beans, or all of that is nature craft. It's just the largest scale nature craft you could ever find. And they're mind-blowing, some of them.
Yeah, some of them are totally amazing.
Especially when you think about the fact that you can go to your cupboard and find half of what they have used on there. So
right. Yeah. It's so true.
Excuse me.
Yeah. You can even use beans to make jewelry and stuff, bracelets, to string seeds, or I remember as a kid my mom had this awesome necklace. I think she still has it. I should ask her if she has it because she never wears it. She got it in Hawaii, but it's all seeds and little tiny shells.
Oh.
It's a necklace, and then at the bottom it's kind of a flat piece that they've made with the shells, so that's another thing that you can do with seeds and shells, stringing those together.
Well, and one thing, Sharon, that you mentioned when I asked you about we were talking about subjects for this episode, she mentioned basket weaving. And we did basket weaving. I think it might have been 4-H camp. It might have just been a summer camp thing. I don't think it was at school, but we did willow baskets one time when I was a kid, and it was freaking awesome. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And you mentioned pine needle baskets, and I had never heard of that. And I would not know. Within the context of the willow basket weaving, I cannot think of how the hell you make a basket from pine needles. So,
well, basically you just you'll put that link up, right?
Yeah, I did find a link for it, so I'll put a link up on our blog. I
think it'd be easier for people to see the picture, but basically you just gather a little bundle of pine needles, and you start that way. So you would wrap it, and then wrap it with your sinew or your your linen thread or whatever, your raffia, and then you just continue to keep wrapping it around. But when you sew it, you kind of catch the other needles. So it's not like you're just using one needle at a time. You're using bunches of needles to build the bottom and the walls.
Okay. So it's like just a little bundle, but do you only wrap the end and then you like a little bouquet that's tied at the end of needles, or is it wrapped all the way down?
I don't know what you're at. I don't understand.
So like, say this ribbon that I'm holding up is a bundle of pine needles. Uh-huh. How far would you wrap the raffia or the sinew up it when you're bundling them? Like, is the whole thing covered, or is it just the end held together?
It's just the end that starts.
So you're just holding them together in a little bundle, and then you're sewing from that spot. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so then you see mostly the needles.
Okay.
I'll have to find... Gosh, everything's packed up. I have some pine needle baskets that I made. Mm-hmm. I wish I could take pictures of them, but they're all packed away.
Sharon's getting ready to move again. So.
Yeah, and I'm actually have never unpacked. So.
I know. So, but I hate that. But I actually want to try to make one of those now because it sounds really cool, and it seems to me that it would smell really good.
It does. They're really fun. I made them on a really small scale, so like smaller than a baseball or about the size of a baseball, just because I like things small and I like things quick.
Yeah.
And I get patient.
Me too.
But they're really fun. And when I made them, I lived in a place where we had lots of pine needles available because that's all we had in our yard were pine trees. Mm-hmm. But, you can get them from neighbors or wherever.
Well, yeah, anywhere. And if you're lucky enough to live in the states that we live in, like in the Pacific Northwest,
yeah,
you can go to a city park. They're anywhere. We got pine needles coming out our asses up here, people.
Totally.
They're all over the place.
Park.
So
yeah. So it's super fun. I highly recommend it. It's really fun. Even if you just do it once. And the thing is that you can add things to it too, like beads throughout it or feathers.
And I was just thinking, depending on the kind of Christmas tree that you have, like, because we're looking at the holidays coming up here, I personally do not use pine trees, but I know people who do.
Yes.
You could use those needles to make a basket, like, so you weren't just composting your tree or whatever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's really fun. I love it. And we used to actually, when we had a lot of pine trees in our yard, we used to, and usually there'd be enough of a windstorm right before the holidays that we would take all the blown down branches and then we would make wreaths.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally. And we have, just so you know, people, a whole month of December is going to be about holiday shit. Because I happen to love Christmas and the holidays on a pretty close to psychotic level.
Yeah, she is
fucking out of control. It really is.
Katie's buddy elf.
I am so fucking buddy elf. I'm not even kidding you. Except
Santa, I know him.
I love you, Santa. Like, it's crazy. I make almost everyone in my family crazy because no one loves Christmas like I do.
Yeah, it's to a special level.
It is.
He enjoys Christmas. But she takes it to another level because, and maybe we'll probably talk about this in another episode, that you can touch on your zombie Christmas village.
Oh yeah, I have all kinds of crazy shit. My Christmas is a little twisted. But
yeah.
But it all involves glitter.
Well, of course.
Because glitter makes everything awesome and okay. So
that's right.
As a matter of fact, you know what? Yeah. I don't think that it would be against the rules of NatureCraft to include glitter in your nature crafts.
Oh, no. I don't think so either. I was thinking that you could put red glitter on your blood on your zombies of your.
Well, why the fuck didn't I think of that?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm here for.
I'm going to go back and do that. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm adding a zombie Santa Claus this year, so I'm keeping that in mind.
That's awesome.
I know. I add something every year. This year it's going to be a zombie Santa Claus and maybe reindeer if I can find them. But back to our nature crafts for now.
Yeah.
That was just a little taste of what's to come. Let's talk about some fucking shells, because shells and sand and rocks and shit are also nature-y and crafty.
Totally. You can I used to draw little faces on the clamshells and put googly eyes on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you wanted to, you could like add a spool, a thread spool for a body. Make
Sharon,
it a little
I
fan.
think that you have a googly eye problem.
I really like googly eyes. Sometimes I just buy googly eye packages.
Just to have them?
Yeah, because I need to stick any googly eyes on stuff.
Well, you know, I have to tell you, this is kind of off topic, but I was vacuuming one day and I had something stick to my foot.
Was it a googly eye?
No, it was a fake mustache, and I have no idea where it came from.
Even better.
But I put it on my vacuum cleaner, on the front of it.
Yeah.
My dog, and I did not know this was possible, hates my vacuum cleaner even more now that it has a mustache on the front of it. So I'm thinking that my vacuum cleaner also needs googly eyes.
Most definitely.
But I'm also thinking that it's going to really traumatize my dog.
Well,
but it would be kind of hilarious.
I think so. I think it would be awesome.
So, yeah, googly eyes are where it's at.
Googly eyes. And now they have the kind that are like, you can peel and stick them.
I know, what the fuck? Why didn't they have those when we were kids?
I know, I would have been sticking googly eyes on everything.
I googly-eyed my mom's butt once. It was awesome. It was a whole group of little kids. Because my mom used to be like the Weebelows den mother. Is it the Weebelows that are below the Cub Scouts? The little dudes? Anyway, she used to be the Weebelows den mother. And I used to go over there sometimes just because if like my dad had fire meeting or something was going on, I used to go over with my mom. And it's a room full of stinky little boys. Ugh. They were all younger than me, so I used to do things to entertain them and get in trouble. I would get sent home. That was my goal.
To get sent home?
Was to get sent home. Seriously? Yeah. Glue some googly eyes to your mom's ass. You're getting sent home. Bam. That'll do it right there.
That's awesome.
Because a room full of 7 and 8-year-old little boys cannot fucking handle themselves when googly eyes are applied to someone's ass.
I can't handle myself.
It was good shit.
That is awesome.
It's good times, people. Good times.
That's freaking hilarious. I might have to add googly eyes to all the chicken posters I have for the 4-H group.
I think that you probably should, and I can't believe you haven't already.
Well, I just took over the leadership.
So, googly eyes for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe some glitter. But...
And some glitter.
Googly eyes are not very nature-ish. We should get back
No, they aren't.
We should get back onto the shells. And
redirecting. Oh, yeah, shells. Yeah,
yeah, that's what we're fucking talking about. Shells. But I was telling Sharon in the episode we lost, and I keep feeling like I'm going to fucking jinx us every time I bring that up. Because if we lose this one, I'm done for the day. But,
yeah, me too.
So, my mom used to buy those empty clear glass lamps. So, like, the body of the lamp is glass, and you can fill them with stuff. And I grew up on the beach and on the Oregon coast, and I also lived at a lighthouse in Sequim, like kind of on the Olympic Peninsula up there when I was a kid, and we had a lot of shells that we gathered from there. And so my mom filled these lamps with shells and stuff and sand, awesome. And they were really freaking awesome. And we were saying that, you know, you could also make those lamps seasonal. You could fill them with like pine cones and leaves and stuff, because seriously, people, there is some cool shit falling off of trees out there. Like the little helicopters.
I love those.
And I don't know what fucking tree it is in my yard, but it drops these little, I call them tree maces, like a mace, the thing that you would wield above your head and split someone's face open with.
They're a nut. Is it
a chestnut?
It's a chestnut, yes.
Okay, first of all,
I freaking love those things.
Get those out of your yard before they're dry, because they fucking hurt when you step on them barefoot.
Really hurt, but they're really
bad. But
awesome,
they're fucking cool. They are for nature crafts. They're so cool. Acorns.
Totally. Like, oh, you know what I love too? That my son collects tons of them. The horse nuts.
Horse chestnuts?
Yes, I love those. Yeah. They're so cool.
And we have a filbert tree in our front yard, which is weird because it's growing out of the middle of a big white camellia bush.
Huh.
So I don't know if like it was like a bird dropping, like a bird buried a nest or buried a nut and then voila, a filbert tree, because we have all kinds of stuff like that happening. But the filberts are everywhere right now. And the birds whack little holes in them. Mm-hmm. So there's these little dried shells with a little tiny, almost perfect hole from a bird beak all over the place in my front yard right now. So all of that stuff, instead of just throwing it in your compost, I mean, you know, you're not going to keep all of it. Some of it's going to have to go in your compost, but you can be using, you could fill lamps, you can use it in all these crafts.
Totally. You know what I saw somebody do? These were so cool. She took, it was like a really thin paper, like kind of a lacy paper, and she must have put it over some sort of form, so it kind of looked like a bowl, or like a half a balloon, and then she waxed that, so she must have dipped it in wax, and on the outside for the design, she used those little helicopters and made wings for dragonflies, and then the base of it were twigs that she had sewn into the little bowl or the cup, and then she put little tea lights in them. And
That's
they're
really
so
cool.
I should actually just buy you one because they're so freaking awesome.
I think you probably should.
Yeah, you were on my list of people to buy one for, and now I told you what they were. But they're really freaking awesome.
I'll forget about it.
Yeah, totally. And it was really neat to see her use those little helicopters.
Yeah.
You know, and people love that because I recognize that. Oh, you used it in such a cool way.
Well, and even like my mom is super, super crafty, like home decor kind of crafty. She is really creative and she always does really cool shit. She'll find like glass containers and fill them with like helicopters or nuts, things that she finds out in the yard, or the little maces and all that, and stick a candle in there and then put those around them.
Oh yeah.
Or even just have a bowl of them. And my mom's also this is where I got my thing about spray paint and stuff. Because my mom will spray paint anything. And she'll get a bunch of those helicopters and spray paint them gold and sprinkle them around the table for Thanksgiving dinner. You know, I mean, just use a little imagination is all it takes.
Yeah,
really.
Totally. Yeah, that's awesome. That's such a great idea. Gold spray paint on any of that stuff.
I know. And also, spray glue and glitter.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit easier to handle glitter on stuff like that if you spray glue it first. And then sprinkle the glitter on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know, and then you get the bonus of huffing spray glue and spray paint, so. I'm just kidding. I'm not a huffer, really. I actually don't like that stuff, so. Although I did do spray glue, I took it outside one time, and the way our front porch is arranged, we have this little retaining wall, and it causes this like wind tunnel around the corner of the house. So we got a gust of wind right as I was spraying spray glue, and it all went in my face.
Oh no.
But dirt was blowing, like dirt and leaves came around the corner too, and I was down on the ground, so I glued dirt to my face. It was awful.
I'm so sad it wasn't glitter.
I am super sad it wasn't glitter too, but I came in the house blinking and there was enough that I had closed my eyes really tight so there was no dirt where the creases in my eyes were.
Wow.
And Kurt's like, what the fuck did you just do? How do you always do this? It's glue. I can't be any glue. It's not just fucking super glue. I should actually add dirt to things that I've glued to myself in the super glue files, even though I didn't technically glue it with super glue. But
was there a picture?
No, thank God that was before we all had cell phones.
Oh.
So now my husband is at the ready.
Right.
And I do have shit I need to be super gluing here pretty soon. I have a couple of things that I'm fucking clumsy. I break shit all the time. So I have some broken shit that I need to super glue, and I'm just afraid to. So I'm not going to do it for a while because I'm still getting over my vacation diarrhea.
Yeah, let's wait a little bit on that. Yeah.
I haven't pooed solid in 7 days. I don't need to glue myself to anything on top of that. So Maybe I'll wait till I'm recovering from my surgery and super glue myself to my cast or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
That'll be good times. That'll be, and my mom will be here to mock me and take pictures, so.
Oh, very good. Awesome.
Yeah. You all just benefit from that. So yeah, nature crafts. I feel like we covered this pretty okay.
Yeah.
In our second round. The first one was way better, but you guys are not, it's in the ether now.
Sorry.
Sorry, folks. Yes. You can blame my faulty power supply on my computer for it. But anyway, so yeah. If you have any questions about nature crafts, or if you know of a nature craft that we did not mention here that we should absolutely know about, then you can email us at twoartsygals@gmail.com and tell us about it. And send us pictures, because we like pictures. And maybe if you send us a picture, we might even put it on our blog and say, hey, this awesome listener sent us this picture. And they're super rad.
That's right.
So, yeah. And I will have a link to the Pinecone basket. And if I can find some cool pictures, I will put them up. But I'll also have some other links to more nature crafts. Maybe some information on how to make a flower press. Because I don't think that was in this episode. I think it was the one we lost. We were talking about flower presses and how easy they are to make. So, yeah. I will post a link on how to make your own flower press, too. Awesome. And you can find that all on our blog, which is twoartsygals.wordpress.com. So go there and look at our show notes. And as always, you can subscribe to this podcast through iTunes or through Stitcher. So go do that and leave us awesome feedback because, you know, it's just super nice to do.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Next week we're going to come back and talk about some bones and taxidermy in your art.
I can't wait.
Neither can I. So until then, go make some cool shit, yo!
Yo!